Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to deliver your October 2016 mid-month readings. I am using the Gilded Tarot deck by artist Cyril Marchetti, as I almost always do. And even though we're focusing more on the last half of the month and the month in its entirety, I'm still going to be using the same 8-card spread I typically use with an additional 9th card from the bottom of the deck, excuse me, representing your overall energy and advice over the reading. Make sure to check your rising and your moon sign as well, because as we always say, these are general readings and there's thousands of you watching. They're not going to apply the same as everyone. I mean, how could they? There's so many of you watching and everybody's got different things going on in their lives. And for some of you, this may not resonate very much at all or only in certain aspects of your life. I watch all three myself all the time because I find that each of my signs, sun, moon, and rising, apply to different areas of my life, so that watching all three of them together gives me a more whole and cohesive picture of the time frame ahead. So try to check all three if you can to get the big picture. Thank you for continuing to watch and listen and like and share and subscribe to my channel, and welcome to any newcomers. Keep the feedback coming. Love the support and the comments that you send both on the YouTube channel feedback and the ones that some of you take the times to send via email. I really enjoy reading how the readings specifically play out in your lives, and you guys are truly brilliant at that. Of course, I don't have time to respond to each and every one at all, but I do read all of the comments, so please don't stop. Keep those coming. Thank you as well, always, to those of you who reach out to me for personal one-on-one readings, which are my favorite things to do. It is an honor and a pleasure, as I always say, to read for you, and I'm always grateful for the trust that you place in me to interpret and intuit the cards for you. Thank you very much for that. And a special thank you to my regular clients. What a delight it is to be part of the chapters of your life playing out, even a small part. And thank you for the regular updates that you also send me in seeing how the readings continue to play out. And if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading and you have not read with me before, you can click on the little About button on my YouTube channel's homepage, which will give you a little more information and detail, and my email address, which is Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. If you're interested in a reading, send me an email. I would be delighted to work with you. I do readings full-time, 6 days a week, so I'm able to get back with you pretty quickly and schedule a reading in a fairly timely fashion. Current turnaround time can be anywhere from a few days up to 2 weeks, but almost always within 2 weeks we can schedule something for you. So if you're interested, email me and we'll go from there. So enough of that, moving right along. This reading is for Aries for October 2016, mid-month. God, Spirit, Angels, Guides, show me the energies for the fire sign of Aries for the remainder of October 2016. Aries, Aries the Ram, the restless ones, the adventurers, the babies of the zodiac, Aries, Aries, for the remainder of October 2016. What does the rest of October 2016 have in store for you? Show me the energies for the fire sign of Aries, Aries the Ram. What do they need to see? What do they need to hear? What do they need to know to navigate through the rest of October 2016? Guidance, feedback, advice, any messages from Spirit for the fire sign of Aries regarding the remainder of October 2016. Okay. Okay, Aries. We begin with the Nine of Wands, followed by the Seven of Swords, the Page of Wands, followed by the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, followed by the Knight of Cups. Goodness. And the Emperor, followed by the Eight of Cups. And from the bottom of the deck, your crowning card representing overall energy and advice is the Three of Wands. Well, Aries, you, like a lot of the signs, most of the signs for mid-month, there is this sense of struggling through and overcoming a challenge or a betrayal or deception of some kind. Of course, it's always possible that you could be the ones on the giving end of that and not the receiving end of that. But new beginnings abounding. We have two aces, Ace of Pentacles and Ace of Cups. Another sign I did yesterday got the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups too. I don't remember who it was. Such a strong theme playing out for the majority. A similar themes playing out for the majority of the signs for mid-month energy. Strong new beginnings for you this month, Aries, and I think that you're going to be really excited and happy about them. And there is some leaving too, some walking away at the end of October as well. And overall, we have that Three of Wands. I'm actually going to start with your crowning card as I sometimes feel led to do. Your crowning card, overall energy and advice, is the Three of Wands. So Wands is governed, of course, by the element of fire. It's a fiery, active, action-oriented suit. It's about creating, manifesting, building. It can represent career, artistic projects, endeavors of any kind. But the energy is fast-moving. It's passionate. It's enthusiastic. It's very creative, spontaneous and impulsive sometimes as well. Change, movement, action, power. But out of all of the cards in the suit of Wands, the Three of Wands is probably the slowest because it's more about gestation and waiting and patience. The Three of Wands speaks to being at a place where you feel you've pretty much done everything that you can with the situation and you're kind of waiting for outcome, you're waiting for results, you're waiting to see how things play out. But it's still a very forward moving card because it's what you've done, the place that you've come to, everything that you've invested in something or put into something is all about laying the groundwork, setting a foundation for the future. What you're kind of waiting for or waiting to see how it plays out is about the future, is about having put energy and investment of some kind into laying the foundation for a future which is going to continue to grow and build. It's a very positive energy. That's your overall crowning energy. And as advice, it would represent having a more gestative, patient attitude for the remainder of October 2016. Not being still and no action. But it's just about, continuing to put one foot in front of the other and waiting to see how things play out. It's not too spontaneous and impulsive, although we do have very strong new beginnings this month. It's like you're wrapping up the end of something. We do have some walking away energy here too, and it looks like you've been dealing with something quite challenging. But like a lot of the signs, I feel like you're coming to the end of it, and you're kind of at a point, at least in one area of your life, where you've done as much as you can for now. You're continuing to move forward in other areas and in other ways, but you're waiting to see how things play out with the bigger situation, if that makes sense to you. Let's go ahead and get started with the rest of the spread. So we have the Nine of Wands paired with the Seven of Swords. I'm sorry about the glare. Let me see if I can. Nope, that's not helping. When I do readings at night, I have to use artificial light, and sometimes it creates a glare. Is that better? A little bit. Okay. So we have the Nine of Wands paired with the Seven of Swords. So again, we have that fire-governed suit of Wands. The Nine of Wands is a card about, well, numerically, you're almost at the end of something. Tens being the final culmination, the wrapping up and coming full circle of something. Nines represent that whatever it is that you're facing, and I feel like it's actually going to wrap up pretty quickly for most of you. You're almost at the end of something. You're at the 9, you're almost at the 10. Represents one last hurdle, one last obstacle or challenge, or whatever's in front of you that you're in the process of working through. It's like the last stage of something. And you've been pretty successful up until now, even though it may have been quite a difficult and bumpy, challenging road for a lot of you. It has for the soldier on this card. He has fought a number of battles. He's walked quite a long road, and he's going on his merry way, and he's run into this cluster of wands behind him, representing one last challenge, one last obstacle, or just one last big thing that's in front of him that he needs to get through. He wasn't exactly expecting this one last thing, and it surprised him a little bit. He's taken a step back and he's gone down on one knee. He's tired too. He's been through quite a bit, but he's still going. He's still ready to go. But this one has him a little bit stumped, and he's withdrawn for a little bit to try and figure it out. How does he get through this obstacle or this challenge? How does he get through this one last thing before he can continue on for you? It's into these new beginnings. So it feels like, and it's kind of similar energy to your crowning card, that Three of Wands, although the Three of Wands implies that you're more at a place where you have done everything that you can. It's just about one last obstacle. And I feel like for some of you, it may not actually be anything specific, any specific action that needs to be taken. It's more about getting through like a healing process. I think for some of you is wrapping up about a relationship that went wrong in the recent past, or a recent difficult, challenging situation you had within a relationship. You have two wands, three wands, and three cups, one pentacles and one sword. So creating, building, manifesting, and feelings and emotions as well. I do feel like for a lot of you, you've struggled through some kind of difficulty within a relationship in your life. This can be a love and romance based relationship. This can be family, friends. This could even be in business, work, and career path as well. It feels like you recently, perhaps very recently, ran into something you weren't expecting. Some of you are just kind of recovering from a relationship gone wrong, or a broken relationship of some kind, and there's maybe been one last thing dredged up, which has caused you um, to kind of dive back into some perhaps negative feelings, or just dwelling too much on the past. I think try not to get stuck in that. For those of you for whom that might be resonating, be vigilant against getting stuck in too much negativity from the past. That Nine of Wands is paired with the Seven of Swords. So this thing that you've gone through, that you or run into, that you weren't expecting, either something you're going through right now or just recently happened. We have the energy of the Seven of Swords. So swords is a suit that rules the intellectual, cerebral part of us, our thoughts, words, ideas. It's governed by air. It's about our belief systems, how we think about things, our perspective and perception of things. The Seven of Swords is sometimes referred to as the thief card. It can represent being at a place where you feel, for some of you, it can be actual tangible theft, like theft of money or property or resources somehow. And I always get the feeling it's kind of blatant, because this man has broken into somebody's home in the middle of the day, in broad daylight, and he's leaving in the middle of the day with this kind of sneaky, smarmy look on his face, as if to say, look what I'm getting away with in front of everybody. It can represent actual theft. It can represent just being mentally and emotionally at a place where you feel kind of that somebody or a situation has depleted you, left you feeling exploited or taken advantage of, or just a situation or relationship where you've given and given and given, someone's constantly taking and you're not getting anything back, leaving you feeling kind of drained and depleted, and somehow taken advantage of. You could have just recently discovered that somebody that you care about, or even a situation or a job as well, something that you're involved in, it could be project oriented as well, that somebody hasn't been being honest with you, because the Seven of Swords is accompanied with kind of an underlying energy of secrecy, um, things being veiled, not everything being told, lies, deception, kind of a slippery, sneaky sort of feeling. So you could be in a situation where you feel that you've been lied to, taken advantage of, or you haven't been told all of the truth about something. And it feels like it was kind of unexpected, whatever this is. It feels like you were kind of already in the process of feeling like you were wrapping something up and you hit like one last snag or something happened. For some of you, it's relationship oriented. Again, the nature of that relationship is going to vary because there's so many of you watching. It's a general reading. But the underlying energy is the same. It's about feeling like um, either you were lied to or you were deceived in some way too. It could be, kind of a sense of betrayal or just, being taken advantage of by a person or situation of some kind. And you weren't expecting it, and around the middle of October, maybe a little bit before then, it's all about, okay, how do I deal with this? Because it feels like kind of the last thing, and it's a 9, almost a 10. You're almost at the end of it. You are wrapping up the end of it in October, Aries. It feels like a situation or relationship for some of you has turned out really different than how you anticipated it, or perhaps a person has shown some behaviors recently. You thought you kind of knew them really well, and they've been acting in kind of a different sort of way and making you kind of question the relationship or your perception of the person. That feels kind of specifically oriented towards a handful of you. So um, there you go. So right next to that, and it looks challenging, but the rest of it is kind of moving into some more positive and lighter and beautiful, bright energy. So right next to that, we're scooting right into new beginnings. Two aces kind of following each other. We have the Page of Wand and the Ace of Pentacles, and then we go right into another Ace of Cups after that. So the Page of Wands, Wands again, that fiery suit. Pages can represent messages, messengers. They can represent young people or actual children in your life. They can represent kind of the energy of the student, the apprentice, being at the beginning of a path. But this is a path, and not maybe not quite knowing exactly what you're doing, or not really having a formed plan, but being really excited about it anyway. We have that youthful, fresh exuberance of the page, very childlike kind of excitement. I always get almost a puppy kind of feeling about this, starting a new beginning, being at the beginning of a new path, and it is accompanied by the Ace of Pentacles. Again, it feels like you can't exactly see the whole path. You may not exactly be sure what you're doing, or have a fully formed plan, but you're really excited and you're determined to just go ahead and start on that. For some of you, it's going to be different things. It's paired with the Ace of Pentacles, which is governed by Earth, so it's earthly, material, tangible, concrete world things. This new beginning could be a new job for some of you, starting a new job. You could be starting school. You could be moving. The Ace of Pentacles sometimes represents that a concrete new beginning, like moving to a new apartment, getting into your first apartment, maybe for some of you, moving into a new home, relocating perhaps out of state, or even for some of you out of the country. Tangible new beginnings in your kind of concrete day-to-day world. But you're really excited about it. Again, it feels like you can't see all that far down the road. You may not have a completely fully formed plan or know exactly everything that you're doing, but you're kind of charging ahead anyway and feeling really excited about it, very enthusiastic about it. Emotionally very happy too. For some of you, this could be a new relationship as well. We have right next to that the Ace of Cups and the Knight of Cups. It's offers opportunities in the realm of emotions, feelings, love, and relationships. The Ace of Cups. Cups is governed by water, and it's all about that fluid world, mercurial world of feelings, emotions, relationships, and loves. Aces represent the promise of what can be, potential, new beginnings, but the seeds. It's being at the very beginning of the path. Seeds, of course, needing to be nurtured, or else they just peter out if they're not followed through with. This could represent new love, new romance. For some of you, may have somebody new coming into your life, maybe feeling like you're falling in love with somebody. Others of you, this is just going to represent new emotional beginnings in other areas of your life. that make you feel initially very happy. And because it's the aces, they have the potential and promise to develop and grow and manifest into something much larger, much more significant, and kind of the full fruition or flowering of whatever this is. So this new beginning, this new path that you're starting on, it's tangible, it's concrete, it's something you can see reflected in your day-to-day life, and you're excited about it, you're happy about it. It feels like for some of you, uh, it's like you're closing one door and you're opening another one. I was kind of getting something and I just lost it. Hopefully it'll come back. So this Ace of Cups is paired with the Knight of Cups. So knights are the bringers of the tarot. They're the deliverers of the tarot. In the medieval world, they were specifically, their purpose was, well, to achieve results. They were sent out on missions and quests. Their whole lives were pretty much focused on that. That's what their training was about. They can sometimes represent people that tend to be sometimes a little fanatical and obsessive because knights were very single-minded and focused. They had to be because when they were set out on missions and quests, nothing was going to get in their way until they achieved that. So when you see knights in a reading, they typically represent something being brought to you, delivered, an opportunity, an option, an offer of some kind. And this knight would be bringing something which is, he's the Knight of Cups. So this would be emotional in nature. It could be an offer of love. Again, for some of you, it's new love. Some of you, I'm just getting maybe moving in together with, in a new relationship, or you've reached a new level in your relationship. Some of you may be moving in together for the first time. But we have new opportunities here, which, I mean, paired with this Ace of Cups, new love, new emotional beginnings. There's an offer in front of you, an opportunity in front of you. And I feel like it has the potential to grow into something quite beautiful. It's a sense of starting over again. And it's really going to go a long ways into helping you kind of get over this last hump and transition into this new beginning. It feels like, again, like you sort of are struggling with some last thing, but it doesn't feel like it slows you down much at all, Aries. Because there's so much excitement and enthusiasm and happiness into this new path that you're moving into, some of which it feels like you guys don't know exactly what you're doing, even in love and romance, or in, in business, career, and finance. But it's not slowing you down at all. This Knight of Cups could represent an actual individual in your life, a new love or romance opportunity. It could represent somebody making this offer in other areas of your life, job, career. It could be somebody who's just offering you their love and emotional support. And they could be water signs, sun, moon, or rising, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. But somebody who's playing a significant role in standing by you or offering to. And again, the specifics will play out differently, but it's lovely, lovely energy. We do have some walking away energy at or towards the end of October 2016, and I feel like it's related to whatever it was we started off with here. This kind of surprise, disappointment, disillusionment with somebody else, maybe a sense of betrayal or of a shifting perspective of someone or a situation. Again, it feels like it hasn't interfered with this new beginning or your plans to move forward in this new beginning, but it does look like there is a walking away, I feel, as a result of whatever this is. We have at the end of the month the Emperor Major Arcana card paired with the Eight of Cups. So the Eight of Cups is a card of leaving, of walking away, of turning your back on that which you have found disappointing, disillusioning. You thought perhaps it was one thing at the beginning, or it was presented to be one thing, a person or a situation, a relationship. And over the course of time of drinking and tasting from all of these these cups, you found that it wasn't what you wanted. It wasn't, it either's not serving you anymore, or it's just not what you thought it was going to be or what it was presented to be. And you've made a decision very definitively, made a decision to turn your back on it and walk away, which is what this man has done. He's turned his back on whatever these cups represent, very definitively and assertively. He's done. He's turned his back. He's dressed for travel. He's just surveying the horizon and trying to figure out which way to go. And I don't actually think that you're trying to figure out exactly which way to go. You've already embarked on these new beginnings by the end of October, going into November. But again, it feels like you don't have exactly a fully cohesive plan, but you're just leaving and you're starting anew over again. And what you're walking away from, the energy of what you're walking away from, we have the Emperor. For some of you, this is going to represent an actual individual. The Emperor would be somebody who's in a position of authority or power. It could represent somebody who's been a very controlling influence in your life, perhaps in a negative way, and you've made the decision to kind of turn your back on them, a controlling relationship, somebody who's or just somebody that doesn't fit well with you. The Emperor represents, as an individual, would represent somebody who's very structured, very disciplined, somebody who's a firm believer in crossing all the T's and dotting the I's. Sometimes this comes up as a father figure or a paternal figure of some kind. Some of you may be having issues in a relationship with your father or somebody who's in that position, and there may not be like a walking away from the relationship itself, but you may decide because of whatever chaos or turbulence is going on that you need to take a break from it. Again, it can play out in a variety of different ways. For others of you, it could just be the energy of having lived a life that you felt was very structured, very rigid, very restricted, and you have just decided to turn as a result of whatever it was has happened with this Nine of Wands and Seven of Swords energy. You've made your decision to turn your back on it and begin a new kind of life, a new path, a different one that's less structured, less disciplined, and less restrictive. I feel it's going to play out differently. But you're moving ahead. It's all about new beginnings and moving ahead. Be careful not to, a certain amount of spontaneity and impulsivity, particularly in love and romance and new relationships, is understandable and to be expected. But be careful that, you pay at least some attention to where you're going. So that you don't make any decisions in haste that you may regret later, because it's all about laying the groundwork for the foundation of your future in your crowning card with that Three of Wands. Let me see if I can get something else. No, I thought there was something else coming through a little earlier, but either it's not meant to come through or I've just lost it, which means it's not meant to come through. Overall, a pretty bright reading, Aries. Not quite as intense as some of the other mid-month readings, but some unexpected challenge to deal with. But again, it doesn't look like it slows you down at all. We have a lot of lovely new beginning energy, a lot of excitement, impulsivity, though. Be kind of vigilant against, jumping in the pool without making sure there's water in it first. Leaving restrictive, structured, perhaps controlling energy behind. Maybe not knowing exactly where you're going. So just try and moderate that energy just a little bit, and make sure that what you're doing is kind of geared towards your future, laying the groundwork for your future. So Aries, I hope you have enjoyed this reading. I hope it hasn't confused too many of you too much. Again, if it hasn't resonated with you, watch your rising and your moon sign as well. Those signs may help clarify things or bring things into focus a little better for you. Thank you so very much for watching this and for your support and feedback on this channel. And again, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading, you can click on the little About button for more information, and you can email me directly at maggie@gmail.com. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the November 2016 general readings. And until then, as always, Aries, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. And I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.